Now to the voting results beyond the candidates, the major ballot initiatives making changes to state and local laws and how they're making history.
This year, voters in 32 states and the District of Columbia weighing in on just 124 initiatives, the lowest in decades, down 30 from 2016. Experts say the pandemic making it tougher to collect signatures to get initiatives on ballots. Some of the most closely watched initiatives include in Mississippi, voters deciding yes on this new state flag design featuring the official state flower, the magnolia. This will replace the current state flag, which features Confederate themes. And in California, voters striking down Prop 16, which sought to overturn the Golden State's ban on affirmative action for public institutions such as state college admissions and government hiring. But California voting yes on Prop 22, making app-based drivers for companies like Uber and Lyft independent contractors rather than employees. With the passage of this law, ride-hailing and food delivery companies will not be required to provide employee benefits and protection for workers. And a first in the nation in Oregon, voters deciding there to decriminalize possession of small amounts of all drugs, including heroin, cocaine, and meth. Those found in possession will now have the option to pay a fine or go to a free recovery center. Also on the ballot in 5 states, legalization of marijuana. 4 states, Arizona, Montana, South Dakota, and New Jersey, all voting to allow recreational marijuana use, while Mississippi voting to allow the use of medical marijuana.
I want to check in with Dr. Jennifer Ashton and get her take on all this. So you heard what we just said about Oregon and the hard drugs there. How is the medical community viewing this?
Well, obviously, Robin, there are pros and cons to it, and there is a difference between decriminalizing and legalizing drugs. And this is a perfect example of where there's really an intersection between societal and political and ethical and medical issues. From a medical standpoint, it's really about shifting that paradigm from looking at people either as criminals first or as people with a drug abuse, addiction, or dependence problem, and shifting the resources and efforts into getting them treatment so that they can become, in recovery.
Right. And Portugal passed a law like this. Did we learn anything from them?
Well, again, it's not exactly the same, but we have learned some lessons. Portugal went through this about 20 years ago, and according to a recent study, they saw a decrease in the per capita social costs associated with drug use by about 18%. They saw a drop in the percentage of people in prison for drug violations by about 20%. They did not see an increase or a surge in drug use, and they saw more people in treatment. So that is, some encouraging signs there. And again, it's not exactly the same as the United States, but it's promising.
Yeah, there might be some signs there. Could this possibly go the way of marijuana? You remember back in the day, it was very unusual for a state, and then we saw all the states that passed it. And how do medical professionals, could they have a say in that in any kind of way, do you think?
Well, remember, right now the field of medical cannabis is in its infancy, and there's a lot of promise there. Ear, nose, and throat specialists use cocaine medically. Heroin is an opiate. So there are some medical differences here. But right now, Robin, so many medical professionals feeling that they've lost their leverage in benefiting society by being able to motivate behavior. So time will tell.
Yes, it will. All right, Jen, thank you so much. Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.